Descent into Darkness, a Call of Cthulhu campaign.
Hello, and welcome back to Descent into Darkness, Season 3, Episode 15. For those of you whose attention is focused on the ritual, you sense an arrival is about to occur. Multiple points through multiple different phases have been pulled down nearly into alignment with one place and moment in time. Whitewash paint, symbols, and the chanting of a few men have harnessed forces of such power that if one misstep is made, a catastrophe may befall existence, not just upon your own dimly seen corner of space and time, but upon all that there is and all that there ever will be. But before we get back to that, let's get an introduction from our investigators.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm playing Detective Jack Glover, and I gotta keep this incense going. Oh, I just did, apparently. I did last turn. I'm gonna get the hell out of here then.
I'm Brandon. I'm playing Dr. Wallace Andrews, and I'm currently expelling a raccoon from the premises.
I'm Justin, playing Lance Monroe, who is now currently standing outside and exposed to a djinn while completely insane for at least another 2 rounds. So, likely not going to survive the first 5 minutes of this.
I'm John, playing James Luther Whitmire, who is intensely focused on completing this ritual so that he can have some nice marshmallow hot chocolate at the end.
Is that his first wish?
Yes.
Okay, so we begin at the top of the round with the djinn, who conspires against you. Now, some of you have seen this before, but you see an startled expression come over Dr. Edward Call's face, and he cranes his neck as though listening to something, like something is being revealed to him audibly that you guys don't hear. But when he casts his gaze around the room at the rest of you, there's sort of a startled look or suspicious look in his face.
In whose face?
Dr. Call. Yes,
Oh, okay.
Sanity roll.
And he does have a shotgun in his hands now, too.
I'm calling BS. He doesn't roll that low. What'd you do, Travis?
Yeah. Yeah, he hacked the game.
Yep. I had to fix his character. He was doing too good. He'll still be alright, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he loses 2 sanity. Since he failed the roll, he will take an involuntary action. Let's see what he does. Jump in fright. So yeah, whatever he's hearing has startled him to such a degree that he sort of jumps backwards out of his place on the pentagram. What a super high dex he has.
That's more like Edward Call.
Yeah.
But he avoids making a misstep and mucking up the pentagram this time. Kind of jumps back here by the window. Which brings us around to Mr. Whitmire, who I believe is still fully focused in the chanting. He has not yet lost his attention. You are dimly aware that Mr. Monroe has fled the cabin and that you can smell the burning hair from a bear that is on fire and shot to pieces. So what are you going to do?
Some men just aren't meant to meddle with the supernatural or gods.
How dare you?
I will continue.
All right. Power roll, please.
Hard success.
How much
Very
MP
nice.
you got left?
6.
Nice.
So deduct
Well,
1 more.
5 now.
1 goes into the magic invested, bringing you up to 44. And then that brings us to the good Dr. Andrews, who had just disposed of a raccoon out the back door of the cabin. And before you stands a bear on fire. What do you do?
Okay, now I cannot remember if if Chris had just asked about it or if Glover had in fact slid my shotgun back to me.
He had been wanting to do that, and I said, yeah, you can do that and worry about the incense if you can succeed on a dex roll. And I said that if he failed the dex roll, you would only be able to slide the shotgun over, so he decided to go with just the incense. Does that sound right to you, Chris?
Yeah, I think we were down to 1 turn left on it, and so
Yeah.
it had to go.
So you don't have the gun.
Okay, so is there any way to lock this door so nothing comes back in?
Yeah, you can definitely close it and throw the... Well, you'll have to barricade it because it was busted open by the bear in the first place. It was so that mechanism doesn't work correctly anymore.
Okay, so is there because I'm next to the fireplace, is there a stack of logs that I could wedge one underneath the handle?
Yeah,
or wedge even under the door itself or something?
No, never mind. You don't need a luck roll because I assume you guys had gathered some wood to keep that fire going. So yes, there is.
All right, so that's what I'll do.
Okay.
I'll focus on getting that door barricaded.
What Dr. Andrews doesn't realize is that this bear is a former Marine Corps force reconnaissance captain turned bodyguard, if you guys get the reference.
It's the bear that fought for Poland in World War II.
Oh, no, that's even worse.
Yes, a national treasure who now is engulfed in flame. You see the decayed eyes bubbling and leaking down onto the snout, and mostly its back is on fire, but it's been shot quite a bit, and it had that internally detached arm from one of Glover's rounds, and it's kind of wriggling about like trying to get up on its feet, but it's been shot quite a bit, so it can't, and it just sits there and burns, and that one arm that's internally detached is flapping back and forth wildly, and that's what it does for its turn in an attempt to get at you, Dr. Andrews, which brings us to Detective Glover.
All right. I'll slide or toss, whichever you think is the safer one, Travis, that shotgun back over to Andrews.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Yeah, that shouldn't be too much of a problem, but let's just have you roll out your dex. We're just checking for a fumble.
Okay, I'll take it. Extreme.
It's like it was always by his feet.
All right, and then if I can, I'll move over to the door, try to wrangle Lance.
Yeah, so you can move. I think your movement is 6, so you can move 6 squares or 6 yards up to him.
All right,
I think that should get you right by him.
What is the ruler in this? I guess I don't have it.
Oh, great.
Q's the hotkey if you got advanced hotkeys on.
There's a detective grabbing me. And next round, I am Jimmy Whitmire,
Yes.
who doesn't know this detective.
No, he's seen him before in his last time that Jimmy Whitmire came out.
All right.
He just doesn't know his relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, the detective was fighting some dude last time he saw him.
There you go. I avoid going through the pentagram as well.
Okay. All right, Glover. So you hear like that's a ding of metal as something's clambering up that pipe connected to the stove that goes outside. And one of those raccoons runs around the corner there, but that's really all it can do for its turn. Which brings us to Lance, who, yes, is the persona that comes to the fore. Is none other than Jimmy Whitmire, who last you remember in this version of Jimmy Whitmire was in a nice hotel suite or a condo in the midst of... I'm pretty sure you had taken a bite out of somebody. There was a battle going on. You saw Augustus Larkin apparently dead, lying on the floor. But from what you see as you glance around, you see that one of the guys from that suite is coming up to you, it seems with intent to get a hold of you or at least talk to you. But beyond that, most startling to you, you see yourself in the dim greenish light from the sensor. What does the Jimmy Whitmire persona do?
He'd also see his car completely destroyed
What?
out in the yard.
Yeah, it might be operational still, but it is pretty banged up.
Jimmy?
No, I thought you were going to try and predict what I was doing.
No, this is you.
So, let's see. I'm outside, as I have not turned around, though, right, to see what I was fleeing from.
Well, I kind of am like when you first come to consciousness in Monroe there, you're looking around and taking in all the obvious things. So that's the description I gave you. So you did
Okay.
see, you saw yourself standing in there in some sort of trance state. You don't know what you're doing. You can see that you're speaking. And also this person that you saw in a suite the last time this persona was at the front is coming up to you. What would you say your intent was, Glover, as you're right next to him? Like what would he get a read on?
I'm probably not angry, maybe like scared, worried, trying to keep it suppressed type thing.
All right.
I don't know. It's one of those where I'm not too sure. Like, I'd like to think Jack would probably go try out to save Monroe outside this room, but he also might be superstitious enough and scared enough to, if he sees anything weird, just figure Monroe's gone. So, I don't know.
So yeah, that's what you got, Jimmy.
I think that that seeing yourself as I don't think that I've recognized that I'm not actually in my body yet,
Mhm.
right? As
Right.
for some reason I was wearing Monroe's clothes at one point, and then I was being chased by Dr. Andrews, and now they've got a body double of me. Do I have a shotgun in my hand?
No, Dr. Call took it from you when
Okay.
I was,
No shotgun, Monroe. No.
yeah.
Well, I do know that I normally keep some firearms in my trunk. So, as I am going to run over to the car and try to access the trunk.
Yeah, you should be able to run over to it and get it open in this turn. And because I imagine it's just some sort of lever that opens the trunk in this era. So what do you
If
keep
the
in there?
gin hasn't ripped it open.
Well, normally I have some various implements just to make it look like a normal trunk, right?
Right. Dynamite.
But yeah, like dynamite. Well, but I also have some hidden compartments for the various smuggling duties, and in one of those is typically my 38.
All right, so we know your 38's not going to be in there because
Yes.
of previous things. So you give me a luck roll that something is in there. One of his other firearms, maybe. I think he had a shotgun too.
As failed on that one.
All right.
Can I push it?
I don't know. Can you push a luck roll? Let me investigate that real quick.
Oh, man. Well, if you fail, Jimmy Whitmire, the current Jimmy Whitmire, has booby-trapped the trunk.
In his insanity-driven fugue state.
No, you may not push a luck roll.
Okay.
Would have been fun though. Maybe we should do. What do you guys think?
Hmm?
I said maybe we
I
should
think
do.
if
What do
you-
you all think?
If
I'm
you're gonna
for
allow a push on a luck, then there's got to be a pretty good downside to it.
Well, the
So-
downside is I booby-trapped the trunk in my insanity or insane
actually-
phase.
Sorry, forget I said that. I forgot. I'm a player. If you're gonna allow a push on a luck, there really shouldn't be any
Yeah.
consequence if you fail.
Isn't the consequence rolling and failing? Emotional damage.
Yeah, I mean the failure is enough of a
Although,
'Cause
whose
then
luck
we've got
is
a-
higher? What's yours, Lance?
Oh, it's taken a hit recently. Let me...
Because I would say if we're going to push it, we should use the highest of the two.
48.
Oh, okay, so that'd still be mine.
So I'm okay with it. Is everybody else in favor of the push on the assumption that you have booby trapped it in some way?
I'm always
Yeah,
fine with
I'm
push.
okay with it.
How about you, Mr. Monroe? What's your skin on the line?
You know, I expected that Lance was dead the second he ran out the door, because the gin's going to pop my heart next round anyway, most likely.
Guess that's a go for it.
All right, here comes the push.
Oh, man. No. How does Jimmy booby trap his stuff?
Well, I think he does still have some dynamite.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, but I mean that blows up your whole.
He was
He wasn't
Would he
thinking
do
we
that?
put it together.
insane. Yeah. Says, I think I was indefinitely insane or temporarily insane for almost 2 days leading up to this.
Oh, goodness.
And depending on what you might be smuggling, you might want to destroy everything in the car and around the car, not so much you in the car.
So that's what we're going with is dynamite?
Yeah, it could be that. It could be a rigged sawed-off, too.
Yeah. Those, you can go with the shotgun route.
We could let Justin's luck determine that.
Yeah. What
All
do you
right,
want, Justin?
Roll your luck to see. You either get dynamite, whatever you favor. If you pass, that's what you get.
Or if he gets an extreme success, maybe he can get where it just seals the trunk completely, like bust the lock. Oh, crap.
Oh, you got an extreme success. Almost critical. So close.
Can I buy the critical?
No, you
It's a
can't
luck
buy
roll.
the effects of
I know.
critical. I mean, you could buy it down to 1 if for some reason you needed, like
Yeah.
if you were trying to face off against somebody who got an extreme, you just don't get the critical benefit. But you did get an extreme success. So which, do you like shotgun or dynamite?
Since it's extreme, could it be that it's a shotgun, but it misses?
No, I'm going to give you some more opportunities here, though,
right.
before it goes off. So yeah, let's give Monroe a chance to come to the front. So make a power roll for me and roll yours off there as well, Whitmire.
A success.
Okay, the higher skill wins the contest, in that case, Monroe. So, as I had described the first time this happened, you get kind of trapped in this dreamlike state where you're in the pyramid with Father. So you've been dealing with that, looking out through the crack in the exterior wall along with the other personas that are in there. And you've seen that it's become more populated, or at least some of you're now aware of who the other personas are because they're all there. But you're trying to find your way out of this situation. And it was kind of like the last time where you pushed through the wall and you broke out, which is like the analogy for you clambering back in control of your own body at this moment. But the trap, like you see it's triggered. You have a split second to avoid the shotgun or blast with a dodge roll.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Not with that attitude.
Not with that skill.
Yeah, just a little bit of luck.
It's always the forgotten one.
You got enough luck for that?
No, I do not have 65. Or what is it, 55 luck.
Okay.
Can we donate?
Yeah. I'd donate some of my luck for that.
Nah, it's okay.
Your luck
I
is
think
your
it's
own.
probably time for Lance to die.
Oh,
No.
don't
Oh,
say that.
no. Push it.
I don't like that. Lance is a good character.
Well, he might
Can't push
survive not pushing it, right? But if he does push it, it's just going to make it worse
He
if he
most
fails
likely
it.
won't.
Okay, let me
Brawl it.
hijacking your character sheet here.
It's just lead pellets, Justin. Just beat it up.
Okay, so I'm going to
Lance
say,
doesn't beat up anything.
as part of the extreme success, the type of shotgun is one that's rigged up to deter
Mm.
a little bit. So we'll use Dr. Edward Call's shotgun. So it goes off into you.
Firing for effect more than anything.
Just loaded with the bird shot. Short range here. So damage is 10.
Which kills me. Drops me to 0 at least.
What's your full hit points?
12.
12. So yes, it does drop you to 0, and because it's over half your hit points in one hit, it drops you into the dying state. So unless aid is administered, let's see where this hits you. Not in a leg.
It's in the day.
Oh, no.
In the left eye. So
Jesus.
Are we going with the eye and not the leg? Or are we going
Yeah,
with
the
both?
eye, because the way it was rigged up, it wouldn't be able to get. I mean, I guess it could go for the legs.
It fell. That's part of the success or the success on the luck roll is that
Lowered.
it slipped its rigging and it lowered down into the bed of the trunk.
I don't know, I
and
like-
then went through.
I like the idea of Monroe having a horribly disfiguring
Eye
scar.
patch.
Yeah.
Okay, Detective Glover, you can see this occur. You see him run away from you to the trunk of Whitmire's car, and he opens it up, digs around in there. You hear the shotgun go off, and you see that side of his face just get chewed up. The hair fluffs up, and then he
Just
drops
drops.
unconscious to the ground behind it. So he is in need of some aid, if he is even alive. But also that the upper half of that woman that was sawed in half by Brandon is crawling. You can hear her crawling along the house towards that southern door, and she's saying, "Why didn't you help me? It's your Christian duty." Which brings us back to the top of the round. Monroe's almost out of his madness.
I think he's past the madness now.
Now he's at peace.
This is when the Black Emperor takes over.
Mm.
All right. Dr. Call gets a hold of himself, steps carefully back into the circle, begins to chant again. But he fails. You guys want him to push it?
Yep.
Mm.
I think he would play it safe in
Oh,
this.
wait, no, we determined last time that he,
Hasn't been stung yet.
yeah.
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
gung-ho.
Oh,
High
yeah.
on the
he's-
experience, and
That's right.
Yeah, push it. Always push.
Good old Dr. Call. Down to 2 magic points, up to 45. And that's when it happens. Whitmire, the real Whitmire, who stands at one of these points on the pentagram, as you feel something connect into place, like gears have been set perfectly and now they're turning. And you begin to see like smoke start to come down from the ceiling, like where the attic to be. It's a wisp of oily smoke, and it curls down, twisting towards the center of the pentagram on the floor. And at the same time, all those reanimated dead, the bear that's on fire, collapses lifeless. Same with the raccoons that were coming around the corner of the house. They do the same thing. And the woman who was crying out all collapse. And it is your turn, Whitmire, and you begin to see somebody you recognize. And after a moment, you realize that you see Drew, who should be dead, as you killed him yourself. But he's there in the center, looking at you he had a pretty calm look there at the end. Despite all your rage, you still have that image in your mind, but that's the same look he has on you now. But he is looking at you, and even though he couldn't possibly be here, you are compelled to believe that this is Drew unless you can pass a psychology roll for me.
It's going to be a tough one.
Let me make one modification. I should say that you're not compelled to believe that it is Drew. Just the fact of his presence acts as a distraction. It just leaves you in a sense of unreality. Being compelled to believe it's him is actually a state further down the line, but right now you're not sure how he's here, and it's messing with your head. If you want to push or not, or just stick with it.
I mean, it's not with the way that the last couple days has gone. I don't think it's that out of the ordinary for me to see one of my best friends that I
Thought was dead.
Murdered.
Yeah.
come back to life in this instance. So yeah, I'm gonna let it slide.
Okay. So basically, with the djinn appearing as Drew to you, if and when it comes time to make a power roll to overcome, you will be doing it at a penalty die. Just know that in case I forget it, as I'm bound to.
Okay.
I often do. But yeah, so right now it's not saying anything. It's looking at you. It appears as Drew. I'll move on to the next person.
Is it in a state where I can attempt to either, I guess, bind it or command it?
Yeah, that's what we're going to be role-playing through right now. You can issue it a command if you wish. What is your command?
Is this a... I'm going to... So...
Well, I'll help you decide. So Drew speaks while you're trying to figure out what to do. He says, "Be not afraid, for we were created by your progenitors to aid humanity." I suppose it would be more in his Boston accent, "Speak now thy heart's desire, and let us create the new covenant, if you are worthy." So that's what Drew says.
Is this out loud, or is it like in my head?
You have a difficult time determining that because you're still in that hyper-focused state.
Okay.
So everything that was going on around you has gotten actually too dim to even recognize what is going on.
This is more for me than anything. I don't know if that would be the right one, but the way that the last 2 days has gone, seeing him pop up, is I'm gonna respond that, I want the same thing that I wanted, earlier today or this morning, is when I put you down. I want Malone gone, and I want unlimited power.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to another player. We'll hold you there for a moment. So, Dr. Andrews, you were off in the corner, not in the pentagram, yet your attention is drawn to the center, not as sharply as Whitmire since you've been out of the circle for a moment, but you do see your departed wife appear in the center. And, in Andrews' past, when you hear like a song maybe that you dance to, you'll get smacked with that grief or perhaps nostalgia all over again. And it's just like, when she died from the Spanish flu, just as powerful, or so you thought, but actually seeing her again is far more powerful than even those moments of grief were. However, you are more aware of what else is going on, and you've heard a shotgun blast going on outside. And you guys needn't speak in turn. Like if Glover wanted to start shouting for help earlier than that, he might be doing that. Is that something you would do, Glover?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there would have been a Monroe just got shot right before I go out the door.
So that would be the choice for you, Andrews, is
Yeah.
do you ignore...
So when I
Oh, you can give me a psychology roll, too, to overcome that vision of your wife.
when I look, I might have an advantage here. When I look at my wife, do I see the strands of whatever
Oh, that's a good point.
around her?
No, you don't. You see strands, but unlike any that you have seen on a living human, the strands that come off your wife look more angular, and there's many of them, and some of them end just in points, and it's this whole like labyrinth array of them that come off from your wife and then go up to the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
So that does throw you. That doesn't look like any human you've seen.
Okay. So yeah, that
So you
helped.
would get a bonus on the psychology to overcome that if you wish. Or you can ignore it entirely and see what Glover is yelling about.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll, when I see the strands and they're different, like I already know that the jinn and other spirits are going to try and play tricks.
Yeah. And
So,
it's not the first
it's-
time that somebody's laid the temptation of seeing your wife again in some capacity has been before you.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll ignore her and I'll dart outside as fast as my legs can take me to see what's going on with Lance.
yeah, with a sprint, you can make it all the way out there. You make it up to Glover. He points you the right way to the car, and you make it around to the back of the car where you see that Monroe has suffered a head injury and is in need of medical attention. However, you won't be able to administer it this round
Okay.
due to the distance traveled,
Yeah.
which brings us around to Jack. Now, Jack, you were never involved with the chanting, so you actually don't see anything occurring in the center of the pentagram.
Awesome.
Everything is as it was before, except that the reanimated corpses seem to have stopped moving.
All right.
So what would you like to do?
I'll sprint too, I guess, over to Lance's downed form. And
Okay.
I'll wait to see if like Andrews wants me to pick him up and carry him inside, or if we're going to be doing this here, and I'll try to aid him.
Okay. All right. First up for Monroe, when you're in the dying state, you must, I believe, make a successful constitution roll, else you die.
He was destined to die.
Luck?
Can he push?
Can you use it?
I don't have 52 luck.
You can push or you can use luck.
I don't know what-
The downside of the push, well, you are a body there.
Yeah.
And you have a powerful persona in your head. So I suppose there is a heroic sacrifice you could make. You could not push and let Monroe come to an end. You could push, potentially fail, and, as your consciousness is fading, you are plunged back into beneath the pyramid with Father, where you see the Black Pharaoh vying for control, trying to escape, trying to claw his way into the last dim consciousness that Monroe has and assume control of his body. So,
Well, I guess the phrase is always push, right?
Come on.
Black Pharaoh coming out. So yeah, Lance Monroe is dead. His body is going to be inhabited by an ancient Egyptian dark pharaoh.
Oh man.
okay.
I'm sad.
So yeah, for you guys administering to him, his eyes, which were closed, snap open, but now the iris and the pupil, the color, the white's all gone. It's just pure black, and at this moment, he's just looking at you, not yet able to act. All right, so you guys hear Dr. Call shouting from inside that, he exclaims, and he's like, damn you for assuming her visage. I bind you back to the stone is what he's shouting out. You guys even hear it outside, his voice booming out there. So, we have our commands in. 1 to bind, 1 for unlimited power, and to take control of Malone's operations. Was that correct, Whitmire?
Yes.
All right, so now you must make your power roll against the Jinn's power. That's an NPC, so it's static. He has fairly high power. And normally, if you're aligned with the other chanters in here, you guys chip away at his power, make it a little bit more easy to overcome. But this is a one-on-one wish from the genie, so it's just you need to pass an extreme power roll, and you have that penalty die on it to get your wish.
Can I use luck or anything else in
You
this?
can use luck, and you can push the roll, one or the other, depending on the outcome.
Ooh, what would it be?
What is your extreme?
That'd be 17.
Yeah, I think so. Yep, you'd have to, or you can push. You would need to spend 65 luck,
Yeah, I only have 52.
or you can let it stand.
Are they going to get multiple rolls, or is this the one?
This is the one, and then, but I want you guys to remember, you are now at the stage. As soon as it got to the center of the circle, you are now at the stage where if you walk away, then the thing is bound to the house for the length of your lives.
Again, this one is more for me. I'm going to push it.
Okay, see that 17.
Man.
Nope. Is that penalty die, man?
Yeah. What'd you roll? Let's see.
Did you even have one of them come up? Let's see, it's a 9.
One was
I'm reading that one. Looks like a 9 and a 2.
Would have been real close. Dang.
Yeah.
And then a 9 and a 1. So yeah, if it wasn't for that penalty, that second one, you would have got it. But so the guise of Drew drops from this figure in the center, and instead before you is revealed a much larger figure. It's the Jinn revealed in truth. It's a visage that usually only his victims see at the moment of their death, and one that Detective Jack Glover avoided when he criticaled out of the attack in the attic. And it's a grotesque humanoid figure, tall and gaunt, with a proboscis-like protrusion beneath a cluster of 2 human eyes. From its elongated head sprout 2 networks of nerves like the wings of a bat, but without the leathery membrane to connect it. And in the negative spaces of those nerves crackle momentary flashes like static electricity. And at the extremities of the wings, there's yet even more eyes at the tips, and he's flapping them in a gentle motion. And he says, you are not worthy for our covenant. And that's worth a sanity roll.
Success.
Well, you lose 1 point.
Surprising.
And since you're indefinitely insane, you go insane.
Sorry, guys.
Dude, no, you might be in more danger. You might attack the Jinn because you're a rage monster when you're insane.
Yeah. Yeah, so you go insane. Your rage monster will last just a couple of rounds, but you are enraged that it would deny your request. What do you want to do based off that?
What weapons did I have at hand?
There's a Colt
here?
1911 right up north of you.
I want to say you had yours as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought I had mine too. So yeah, I'll start with that. Pull that out and start walking into the circle, firing at it,
Okay.
yelling that it can't deny me.
All right, go ahead and fire off your shots. Ooh, nice hit.
How many?
How many did you want to take? You can do up to 3, then they're all at penalty, so you'd have to roll a penalty on that one. Or wait, you're in point blank range, so just regular rolls. So that extreme success would stand. Gotten better.
Yeah.
Not that much better.
Nope. Just one really good shot at the beginning.
Yeah, you aim for like that cluster of eyes, and you can see that it can be wounded, and you destroy a few of those eyes as your bullet passes through, and the wings sort of rattle as a response, for lack of a better word, but we'll hold you there for a moment now, and we will see how Dr. Call does. Facing the genie, commanded it back to the stone, relying on his constitution, or no, he has to switch over to power at the extreme level. Not good odds.
Ooh.
81 versus 11. Do you guys want him to push it?
I
imagine it's getting
Rules
pretty
is
desperate
rules.
now.
All right.
Oh, come on,
Damn.
Call. You.
Too bad that wasn't his first one.
I
He could have lucked into that one.
Yeah.
So, in his case, he gives in to the visage of his wife, much like Dr. Andrews showing his departed wife to him, and he sees Whitmire trying to cause destruction to her, and he crosses the protective threshold to try to get the gun out of Whitmire's hands. That will be his action. So, Whitmire, Dr. Call's coming at you. He's going to try to grab that gun. You want to just dodge out of the way, or you can fight back? You can't shoot back, but you could, kick him or pistol whip him or get him in a headlock, whatever you're looking to
I'll
do.
try to dodge. Success.
Oops, I still got his extreme on. Yeah, so you just, he's panicked and clumsy. He doesn't get a hold of you. You just step out of the way. All right, Dr. Andrews. Mr. Monroe's eyes have gone pitch black. You, without needing to make a roll, have a feeling that something bad has occurred.
His one remaining eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you hear pure chaos in the house behind you now.
Okay, so looking at Lance, am I seeing any animation? Like, is he breathing?
No, he doesn't seem to be breathing normally, but he's definitely, his face is expressing. There's an imperious cast to his, even more imperious than he got at the height of his archaeological explanations.
Yeah. So, do I recognize that it's a different persona now?
Yeah, almost certainly.
Okay. All right. So I'll just, one problem at a time. I'll just, because I have no idea which one it is, so I'll just yell
Do
to.
I
You do
recognize
faintly.
the persona?
Go ahead. Yeah, you think so. Yeah.
I'll shout out in warning. Oh man, what?
Because he put the whammy on you, right?
Yeah.
Made you fight that guy.
Oh
you
no.
know something weird.
Yeah. You got any ideas what I don't know. I'm just gonna shout out in warning to Andrews, be like, oh no, not when this one comes forward. We need to get out of here. He had me. This is the thing that had me beat to death. Oh dang, what was his name? Merriweather's
Bertrand.
kid.
Yeah, Andrews, you also do
Yeah.
hear faintly from in the cabin your wife calling to you.
Okay. Yeah, I don't need to be told twice, so I'll dart back into that cabin then, one problem at a time.
Yeah, when you get in there, you see Dr. Call and Whitmire are locked in some sort of struggle. Or you see Dr. Call trying to get the gun away from Whitmire, who has stepped out of the way. But again, the sprint into the cabin would take up your turn. On to you, Mr. Glover.
I think Andrew's got the right of it. That place is warded. Maybe it will work. So yeah, I'll sprint back into the front door and slam it shut.
Okay. All right, Lance. You are the Black Pharaoh. You have lived for longer than any man should. You have gained power, both material and beyond material, more than most men have. And you are angry that something is suppressing your consciousness from time to time, but you are firmly in control. You feel the life force of the person you had battled with is gone, and now you have this husk at your command. You only speak Egyptian, and you have access to powers far and wide. The one you know the best is the one that Monroe knew, but you can feel that they will come back in time. What
Okay.
would you like him to do?
Does he sense what's going on? Like sense the presence of a djinn or
Yeah,
anything like that?
as you gather the situation and you see the color of the incense in there and a few other things that hint you into a ritual that you yourself have done before, and one that you sought to do again, but you were barred by these beings themselves, as only one covenant could be made per being. So you lost access to that. But perhaps this
Yeah.
is a chance. Perhaps this is a loophole, since you are not, in the body that you know. Evidently, maybe the
He's
jinn will
gonna-
recognize it as such.
He's going to stand up and head back inside to reclaim his place as, Lord of the world by
Okay.
taking control of this djinn and destroying anyone that opposes him.
So you can get up to the door, but Glover has closed it and he's putting his body against it. It would take your action to move that far up to the door. Well, I suppose you were about the same as Glover, so you can get in there. You can get up to the door and you could attempt to try to open it once, which is just a strength contest between the two of you, and that is Monroe's strength.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm not.
Not much, but
Yeah. Could I use size?
Yeah, size would be fine.
extreme.
Nice.
Ah.
Yeah, he's, some unnatural power courses through his veins and manipulates his muscles, and he pushes that door enough to start getting in there, but we'll hold him there for now. So, with moving from your protective location, the Jinn now has open access to Mr. Whitmire and Dr. Call. So, Whitmire, if you'll give me a luck roll.
Fail.
All right. So the Jinn, this network-like set of wings coming from its head, come down around you, right, as it strides towards you, and that proboscis-like mouth is piercing towards the center of you. What do you want to do against that? You want to try to fight it, or just dodge out of the way?
I will attempt a dodge, and we will see what happens.
Okay.
Success.
Ooh, got lucky. Yeah, so you move out of its attempt to encase you in those wing-like structures and pierce your chest to extract your heart this time. Dr. Call says, "You keep your filthy hands off her." And he goes to snake an arm around your neck. You do have a penalty to dodge or fight back against this one. What's your play?
I will attempt the dodge again. Am I able to buy the success?
Yes, with luck.
Does does the success?
Yep, you win on a tie
enough,
if you
okay.
dodge, yeah.
15.
Okay. So yeah, he almost had you there for a sec, but you just slipped out of it at the last second, and it does bring us to your action, Whitmire. Still enraged.
So, yep. As a shout out that you, I don't even know what a good slang would be for that.
You
As,
biscuit boxer.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, as as lowly insects think that you can pull one over on old Jimmy Whitmire, I knew you were both in this with each other from the beginning, and plug 2 at the Jinn and 1 at Call.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll them out. We'll just do the one at whichever your second target is. We'll have a penalty on it, whether that's Call or the Jinn.
So that's the Jinn would have 2 first,
Okay.
and then the 1 at Call missed.
Is this your 38 or 32?
No, this is the 1911 that I had. This is my 38. Is still up in New York.
Okay, so you got one shot left after that. Again, you do see that there is some sort of effect. There's a kind of blood that pours from these wounds as you fire into the Jinn, but it's not clear whether it's slowing it down or not. Now, Dr. Andrews, you've come back into this situation. You're looking at this struggle continue, and the visage of your wife still compels you to speak thy heart's desire if you wish.
I'd be like over here, right?
You're like right in the door. Yep.
Okay. I guess right here, I suppose. All right. So then, what do I do?
So it's if you wish to rejoin the ceremony, then you take your spot at one of the points on the star and you issue the command. You had heard Dr. Call from the outside commanding the thing to return to stone for all time was the command that Dr. Call made. The one that Whitmire issued was too quiet and through like gritted teeth for you guys to hear it.
Yeah, so I don't know, where's the right here or something?
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't really even have to move your token. You can just say you take. It doesn't even have to be the same spot. Just one of the protective points of the star.
Yeah. And then I'll issue the command to,
Did you want to attempt with a psychology roll to overcome your wife and the visage of your wife and lose the penalty die to the doubt?
Yes.
That's okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll out psychology.
Do I get a bonus?
Yes, because of the lines.
Yeah. You ain't my wife.
She's got regular lines, or she would.
Ah,
What a ridiculous joke. Did that do the bonus?
Yeah, it did the bonus. Did you want to let it stand or attempt to push it? Or I don't know if you have the luck for it.
Be 42 luck.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll let it stand. I don't have the luck for it.
Okay, so when you issue the command, you will just roll at penalty. However, what is your command?
Yeah, so what was the command Call had given it?
To return to stone for all time.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. So since Dr. Call has also made that command, and he took part in vested magic in the ceremony, it makes it more compulsory to the djinn and makes it a little easier for you to overcome the djinn. Let me do a quick calculation here. Call has a power of 55. So you need to roll a power with a penalty die and achieve a regular success.
So number of dice is just one?
It's 2 if you're adding a penalty to it.
Oh, I see. I didn't do that with my bonus. Okay.
Did you want to check your bonus roll real quick? Well, you got it. So
I got a success.
okay.
You have success.
All right. So
return to the stone for all time.
all right. So the visage of your wife departs, and all that is left is the oily wisp of smoke that marks the djinn's presence there in the center. But you do hear a voice issue from it. Very well. We shall abide in stone until the time of our great union. And the smoke is sucked into that chunk of amber wherever Monroe had placed it on the table, maybe. And all goes quiet.
except for the thing banging
Except
at the
for
door.
the Black Pharaoh at the door, and Whitmire has another round of murderous madness left. But that brings us over to you, Glover.
Because I thought that was I had 2, right?
Right. Yeah, you played
Because
out.
the
Oh,
first
that was your
one
second one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you're out of that bout of madness. Which, by the way, your bout of madness that you've been having has given you a point of Call of
Nice.
Cthulhu. What do they call
Mythos.
The
it?
mythos.
Yeah.
Nice.
There we go. I don't know why I was losing. But yeah, Glover, this figure on the other side of the door has got the better of you, and he's basically in the room now. He just hasn't acted yet. What do you do from that point?
I'm going to try to get everyone out of here. I don't know what Monroe is, but it's coming in, and you guys need to get out of here. And I guess I'll try to
Yeah, I'll add
go for it.
my 2 cents to that, too. I'll see. Something's taken over his body.
And I guess I'll try to just delay him from entering through this door as much as possible.
Okay, what do you want to do? Try to push him back out?
Yeah, I'll try to size him,
Okay.
if that's okay.
At this stage, yes. Yeah, that should be cool. And you can do your strength to oppose that, Mr. Monroe.
Okay. Can I use size instead?
Yep. Goes to Glover on that tie for the higher skill. And yeah, he muscles you back out the door, uses his, weight to get it back closed. So you're standing outside that door. However, it does come around to your turn, and you know that the way the power that you have access to works is they only need to hear your spoken word. You don't really have to see them, right? And you also know from using it before that part of the deeper understanding of this power is that you can do it on as many people as, are within hearing range. So you can begin to do that if you wish, just as a heads up. But it's your turn,
Yeah.
Dark Pharaoh.
Yeah. He can do it to as many people as he wants on one round.
Yeah.
So, yeah, having kind of seen the djinn get sucked in as I was fighting with Glover for the door, I'll try and do a whammy on all of the people in the room.
Okay. It does take, I think, 2 rounds. Is that right on that spell?
I think it depended on the.
3 rounds. But again, the deeper understanding does shorten that to only the 1 full round. I think is how we did it last time when Chris was playing the Dark Pharaoh.
So yeah, full. Yeah, he'll spend the full round doing the whammy on him.
All right, what are you telling him?
Bring me the stone with the djinn.
Okay. I believe that is an opposed power roll.
And that uses his power, right? Not mine.
Yeah.
Jim's mine, Black Pharaoh.
But we'll give you we'll make it kind of an NPC thing. And so basically these guys just have an extreme chance. They all would have to overcome an extreme power.
Ooh.
I need a power roll.
Yeah, you have to succeed at the extreme level.
Just
Apply
what
that,
makes-
Success.
yeah.
Yeah, what would I need to spend?
what do you need?
5.
65? Yeah.
So I need to bring it down to 12.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll spend 5 luck.
All right.
And Dr.
Okay, so-
Call?
Oh yeah. Forgot he's here. He'll surely succeed.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
And
that's
Jin's
Dr.
his,
Call.
too.
All right,
Holy
so Glover's
cow.
mine.
Does this
He
create
says-
a psychic feedback?
He's like, something alien is trying to press into my mind. Do not listen to those words. He shouts out to everybody. And he actually runs at the door to help Glover, not realizing that Glover's
He's a good man.
got the whammy on him,
Yeah.
to try to keep it closed. No one go out there. Jeez, I can't believe he did that.
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
too.
that's
It's
true.
Dr. Call.
All right, Jin is taken care of. Well done. Dr. Call presses his body against the door, making it much more difficult for it to physically be open. Whitmire, you were given a command, but you shook it off. Perhaps your underlying insanity and your own self-interest kept you from doing anybody else's bidding, but it is your action.
Well, as I said, the djinn is mine. So I'll pocket that stone and start to make my way to the back door
Okay.
as fast as I can.
Yeah, getting the stone, you can get, I don't know how you can move, but you can get into the other room there, pretty much.
Okay.
Dr. Andrews.
So I recognize there was some force trying to exert influence over us, right?
No, you
and then
guys
Call
don't.
said,
He said that, though. That was part of his critical success, because ordinarily you don't really feel it as an outside thing. You might puzzle
That's
it
right.
together later, but
okay.
Yeah, like.
yeah, he says that it was.
Yeah, okay. Because
Okay.
when I had the whammy put on Glover, it was like the most naturally correct thing to do was to beat Merryweather's kid to death.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because the way
Okay.
the spell works is basically they get an imprint of your mind and your experience to such a degree that, like, they know deterministically what you would do and what they might say or what opportunities they might present to get you to make that decision on your own, even though it might be pretty crazy. So that's the basic idea. And that's also why it creates the imprint, or it was creating the imprint in Monroe's mind, because he knew their mind so well from the effect of that spell. But go ahead, Dr. Andrews.
So yeah, I'll so now the djinn's gone, and I'll say Monroe is gone. Some dark force has taken him. Open the door, and then I'll raise my shotgun at the door. Get ready to shoot him when he comes in. I mean, unless somebody sees a better choice. You know.
No, I'm just, I think, other than that, getting the heck out of here is
Yeah, you
is
can
the
see
only
that
other thing.
Whitmire's already in the process of that after having scooped up that chunk of amber. Okay, so you ready yourself to fire when they open that door. Of course, Jack Glover has other ideas.
yeah, I like to think that because the Dark Pharaoh's already commanded me, it's like easier to do.
It's like a nice pair of boots.
Yeah. So I'm
Will fit
going
some
to put that stone as top priority. So I'll move over to there. Where is it? S? There we go. And I'll shoot 3 times at Whitmire.
Okay.
Is that acceptable
you-
in your head, Travis? Or
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you probably would already. You did get a little chummy with Whitmire, but that all the better allowed you to know that maybe at the end of the day, he was always looking out for his own interests. So he's got that stone in his pocket. He's trying to get out of here.
Well, yeah, I was talking.
If he gets out of here, you're...
Okay, yeah, I was talking like from the point of like how eager am I to serve?
Right.
Would it be something I would put rounds in an innocent man over, or
Glover? For sure.
Okay. All right, so 3 rounds, point blank.
Yeah.
All right.
Now,
Yeah.
hold on just a sec here. No, you can go and roll them out.
Jesus.
It's a little unrealistic in my estimation, but it is a rule that if you're being fired upon, sacrificing your next turn, you may make a dodge roll, and if you succeed, then a penalty die is applied to his rolls, which you're going to need that.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. I thought I was going to die during the gym. Well, I thought I was going to die in New York, or I guess Boston. But I made it this far. Let's see if I can slip out of it again. So yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Well,
Don't worry, Jimmy.
Can I buy
we
it?
all knew this was how it was going to be.
yes, you can spend luck. I don't know if that'll get you out of the fire, because he's just going to add a penalty to each one. I mean, you're probably still going to get hit, odds are, but I mean, what other choice do you have? Because the
Yeah.
amount of damage coming at you was going to instantly kill you.
All right.
All
I'll
right.
spend, 32 luck?
So re-roll.
21.
Yeah, you know, it has that bonus penalty under each one. You can hit
Oh.
one of those, and
All right. Just add 1
And
this time.
yeah,
Okay.
but just do it 3 times for each of the rolls.
So there's an 8. That's
the
a
first
miss.
one turns into a miss.
That's a 3. That's
Second
still a hit.
one
It's a
turns into a regular.
Do you want me to re-roll
or a
damage?
hard.
second one.
Or
No, we'll
it's got
keep
it.
the
Okay.
damage on that. It has both the extreme and regular.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, second one would have been hard.
What is that?
And third one stays a success.
That becomes a... Wait a sec. No, I'd get the lower
Well,
of the
it's
2.
the penalty,
Oh.
so you keep the 38. So you take 4 damage initially, Whitmire. You want to do a hit location on that one, Glover?
No, it's going to kill me on the other one.
It'll put you to
one.
dying, like
Well, no, I only have 12 hit points, so that one that does 12 is going to kill, right?
Well, the 4 deals 4 damage. It doesn't wound you. That's like a winged shot. The other one does 12, which is enough to wound you, but since it's not more than your actual hit points, it just drops you to dying. So it's basically a critical blow. There's no below 0 or anything like that. It's more about your
okay.
wound state and how much damage is dealt to you.
Is that the
So, yeah,
hand
that
that
first
was
one-
holding the ember?
Yeah, blows off the pinky or something like that. And then the second hit location for the second shot. Clever. This
Oh,
is the
you
one
want
that-
both? Okay. Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you want me to roll again, or does it just go up into the arm?
Yeah, roll that one again. Come on.
Yeah.
There we go. That's
Yeah.
more of a dying wound.
Yeah, and since he was running away from you, I guess that's where the exit wound is. His
Well,
chest.
the hit to the right hand kind of turned me, and
Yeah.
then just right into the chest.
But it does drop you to dying.
Also, I'm out of rounds in my
Can I-
Colt, so
Call him no, never
a
mind.
dirty copper.
Yeah, I always knew you were on the take.
Well, I guess that
All
makes
right.
sense because I did say to him that we all knew this was how it would end, Jimmy.
Yep, and that you shot his hand, so the chunk of amber is rolling along the floor now. But it brings us to the Dark Pharaoh, who has been pressed out of that door. But your command has some effect. You feel a furthering awareness of the person known as Glover in your mind, but the other ones
Okay.
resisted it maddeningly. Kind of puts you into an imperious rage, but currently the door is closed.
Did Call's critical success inoculate him against me?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So yeah, I'll once again shout out in there. You may be strong, but you will all serve me.
Force reality to
Bring
buckle.
me the stone, and I'll impress it again on the people that weren't affected last time. So I don't know if
Andrews.
it will count for Whitmire, but on Andrews, and I guess it would just kind of bounce off of Call.
Yeah. So that's another extreme power roll you need to succeed at, Dr. Andrews. Things are going quite badly.
I don't know. I think I might survive.
So another
Spend 8 more luck.
8 more luck.
Okay.
So, well, wait. The fact. Okay, so we're at extreme. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll spend the 8 more luck.
Yeah. So, in a full-blown cosmic fury, you feel it slide off of, the other people in there. You still have Glover, but that's your turn. Dark Pharaoh brings us around to Call, who is completely panicked, but is holding his body against the door, and with his 2 white eyes, he looks at you, Dr. Andrews, finally feeling the bite of the mythos. He says, "Run, Andrews. I'll hold the door. Run!" Whitmire, give me a constitution roll. So you would die,
Nope.
but you can push if you like, or use luck to live another round.
Consequences of push.
You die.
So
Because I don't know if it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you reanimate
It's a-
as my slave after that last.
yeah, the command is so powerful that it
I like that.
even compels the corpse. Yeah, that sounds good.
Extreme success.
Oh.
Whitmire's his own man,
Yeah, he's
right?
too selfish and
And,
greedy.
and sometimes he's Monroe as well. But
Dr. Andrews, it's as serious gets. You've never seen the composure or the attitude that Dr. Call normally has broken to this degree. What do you do?
Dude,
All right. So, Glover has turned on us and shot down Whitmire, so he might have been angling for this from the very beginning.
Well, you have an
So,
idea because of Dr. Call's, his warning. That's something Monroe might
Oh,
be doing
because of-
something to him, right? You do have
Well-
that idea. You just didn't feel it personally.
I
so
also
you could be
did
talking out of
say
school.
earlier that this thing
It's
is
not good, yeah.
what made me beat Whitmire, or not Whitmire, made me do that too. Merriweather to death.
there's also there's the slight inkling because Whitmire's dying breath was to accuse Glover of being on the take.
Yeah, so I'll bark at Edward to get out of the way, and I'll have, my shotgun still raised.
Okay.
I'll
Yep.
move up closer, so
It's point
as soon
blank.
as he opens that door,
You see, some resolve come over his face, and he says, "We'll hold the line then." And he casts the door open, revealing the Dark Pharaoh possessing Monroe's body, which allows you to take your shot.
Any sand.
all right, yeah. What is there, a bonus for point blank?
Yes, if you only take the one shot. At your option, Dark Pharaoh, you may roll Monroe's dodge to give him the same benefit that Whitmire had. Although I would say maybe he wouldn't, just from
Does
the...
he have any other abilities that he might call on instead?
Let's roll Monroe's Cthulhu Mythos. See if something comes up.
Damn.
Buckle
Nice.
reality. Oh, the stasis.
Yeah, we'll let us... Yeah, the stasis, where you can freeze somebody in time, basically. That does... It's fast, but not faster than doing it when the door's open and you're being shot at. But you're basically like a corpse now, so it's not going to end, your turn or your ability to do stuff. But I'll see if I can find another fun spell too. But yeah, so you get blasted. You want to roll hit location on that, Dr. Andrews?
Oh, right, sorry.
That damn foot.
It's always
Yeah.
the extremities.
This hit location thing is
It
not
always
awesome.
likes left and down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you just, you blow off that portion of Monroe's leg, and it give me a Constitution roll, Monroe.
Ooh. Does he get bonus because he's technically not living?
It's about like the
Oh,
physics of it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just that you're suddenly not propped up anymore, and you go wheeling backwards and fall down that step prone. More indignity to somebody such as yourself.
I've dealt with peasant uprisings before.
But that'll bring us over to Jack. You got the stone,
I do?
just like you were angling for, or it's on the ground. You can pick it
Okay.
up.
Can I pick it up and vacate this area as quick as possible? Like out a window?
Well, the command is to bring the stone to him, but yeah,
Yeah.
you could go through a window.
That's
to do
what
it if
I'm
you
going
wish,
to
yeah.
do. I don't want to go through the door. It doesn't say I become stupid, just I got to get to him as fast as possible with
yeah.
it. So yeah, I'm going to pick up
Yep.
the ember and jump out the nearest window towards the pharaoh.
Okay.
So was it like
Yeah,
maybe
so
this one or?
Yeah, that's fine. You can do it in one turn, pick it up and jump through the window into those bushes just outside.
All right.
Now, Dark Pharaoh, one of your underlings, is a good little worker, so you needn't worry about the Amber Stone at the moment. But something comes up from the fore. You have that stasis spell that you had recollected the time before, but you also remember how to melt flesh.
Yay!
So yeah, basically you just
Yeah, he's indignant at this point, so.
Do you hold a cigarette lighter up to him and just wait?
Candle
Hmm.
or a torch.
yeah, so if you can see the person, you can just begin melting their flesh. It's just a matter of time before it kills them. It does 1d4 damage per 15 size points that they have, and then they just start melting.
It does
So-
1d4. What?
Per size
So
point.
every 15 size points that they have, the more damage the spell, the more flesh you're able to melt,
Oh,
right? So
okay.
it does more overall damage.
Okay.
But yeah, you have two targets there. You're lying on your back. I mean, that doesn't impede you. All you have to do is point a finger at one of them, and there's a fat, fleshy, jowled man and a much smaller man, the one who is wielding a strange weapon that dismembered your vehicle's foot. So who's your
Yeah.
target?
The one with the weapon.
Okay. What's your size, Dr. Andrews?
It's 40. Where is that? Yeah, 40.
Okay.
Is it 2d4?
So that's 2d4 flesh melting damage if you want to roll that for me, Dark Pharaoh.
Is there any roll Andrews gets to make?
Yeah, so you, what's your hit points? 8?
Yeah, 7
take-
right now.
5 points of damage, which in your case is enough to deal you a major wound. You want to roll hit location, Monroe, to see what is most melty.
Yeah.
Going to be a left foot again.
Yeah, right hand. Come on.
No, this time it'll be the face or something.
Right hand.
Right hand. He called it.
Is that the strange
that
hand?
is- His left hand was a strange
Nice.
hand.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
him being
you-
a surgeon is done.
You're so that's probably the hand that's in the like on the trigger on the stock there. Your gun, like your left hand was propping the front part of it, but the back part of the gun just sort of slides out of your now melted down to the bone.
Luck roll. 'Cause it's going to hit the ground and discharge one more time right into your face.
Common failing of
So-
those shotguns of the
You still
era.
got a hold of it, but
Yep.
you're looking at your hand. Luckily, you're immune to gross injury.
So, just curious, was that a full round action, or could I begin working my way over to Detective Glover?
Yeah, you can move. You would just be crawling,
Okay.
so I would say move half your base movement at max.
Okay.
If I'm under his thrall, does he have to recast the spell on me to issue a different command, or am I going to do whatever he says?
No, it's not. It's just that one command. So
Okay.
if he needs to get something else to you, then he'll have to reissue it. But yeah, okay. So Lance crawls over there. Dr. Edward Call looks at you and what has occurred, and he says, "Dear God, we're all going to die." Whitmire, Constitution roll, please.
That's usually what happens, Dr. Call. As we're lucky we made it this far.
Yeah. Nice.
Extreme success.
Quick, use your
Want
nub
that
to
damn
seal
gin.
the wound, Brandon. Just scrape some
All
flesh
right,
off onto it.
Dr. Andrews, the shock of sustaining a major wound can make you unconscious if you fail a Constitution roll.
No, luck.
Okay, now you can spend luck to make it a success, or optionally, you can pay luck per round that you want to remain conscious.
Hmm.
So it'd be 1 luck in the first round, 2 in the second, 4 in the third, 8 in the fourth, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Just spend the 1. So what
Yeah.
do you do?
Did
Your target has gone out of sight.
they go outside?
Yeah, you'd see me
Yeah,
at the
you
window.
can't see. Yeah, you probably see Glover out the window. If you went right up to the window, that you would have the perspective to look down on the Dark Pharaoh.
Yeah, man, I guess I'll move there and try to shoot the Dark Pharaoh again. I guess it'd be easier if I just went outside, right?
Oh, you can shoot
'Cause I'm
from
right
there.
by the door.
Yeah, stabilize it on the windowsill.
Yeah, you do need a little bit of help. That's true.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Just fire off a shot.
Give him a bonus die, though, for having that stable firing base now.
Yeah, he's already got the one from the range. I was considering giving a penalty if he was just standing, like doing a standing shot, but since you're able to prop there and fire, I'll say you just have the bonus die, one bonus die on the shot, and then after this one, it'll have one round left. Ooh, extreme. Go ahead. We'll say you can pick where you're aiming in this particular case.
Looks like the chest.
All right.
Cut him in half.
Yeah, the blast from that close range shotgun severs enough stuff down there that mechanically you need to work Dark Pharaoh. You feel, you were sending out dark energy or impulses to move the corpse around, but now you feel there's been something severed below your chest, basically. So you can still feel the arms that Monroe has, and you can move your head about, but the legs have become a dead weight. They're beyond your control.
Okay.
Detective Glover.
I'll walk over and give him the amber.
Here you go.
I hold it just out of reach.
So does that break the mind control? Does he now come to with the realization of what he's done?
Yeah, you placed it in Monroe's upheld hand, and there's not really a realization. It's a job, completed. Mm-hmm. The thing that he wanted to do is now completed, but now you don't have a task, and some of your other concerns might come to the top.
Oh, man.
But you can still take an action.
Deliver that bullet to the face, too.
I'm out of rounds right now. I'm going to finish moving.
Use any...
And 2 yards. All right, so I'm going to move 4 yards away. Probably about there. And I'm going to cover my ears. Do you think that'd work?
Okay. It might, yeah. It might. Monroe knows it also might not. It depends.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But yes, Monroe, you have the amber in your hands. Now the problem becomes even you had to do this ritual to interact with the bound djinn. So you're not going to be able to access it right now, but you do have it. But the vehicle that you're currently in is pretty compromised.
Okay.
But you do see, if you crane your head around, you see the doctor whose hand you melted prop that shotgun on the window, and that's what severed connection with your legs.
Okay. He needs slaves, so he'll try and do the mind effect again.
Okay. What's the command?
Just serve me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have no master. You are now my servants. All right. Extreme power roll.
All right. Did I get a bonus dice for having my ears plugged?
Yeah, I'll give you one.
Thank you.
One bonus die for having your ears closed.
It ain't gonna matter. Where's power? There it is. Bonus. Oh, dang it. Just a second. Pushed the wrong F key. There. 2. Hard. Almost.
You need extreme.
Can you buy it?
Yeah, you can buy it for, what would that be? Like be 13, so 14 luck.
It's a now or never luck, or else you're forever a slave.
Yeah, but I'd be alive. 14. Yeah.
There's always one that walks away to tell the story. Is it going to be you or Dr. Call?
Hopefully Dr. Andrews. Yeah, so I bought it.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Does that command work even though they don't understand the language?
Yeah, somehow. The component to it is hearing it, but also from Monroe's perspective, there was like a psychic connection that was established via arcane and eldritch means. But Dr. Call comes up behind you, Andrews, and he grabs your shoulders, and he says, what else can we do? We must go. And he tries to start pulling you towards the back of the house.
We must serve him.
Okay, so let's, because that's a pretty wide net that he casts. So you now think it's correct to serve somebody like him who's more powerful than you. And maybe the angle he comes at that is, in Dr. Andrews' case, since you've been pretty listless since the destruction of your family and kind of drifting around trying to find a place for you, that the opportunity to have a place at somebody's side who is so powerful, it seems like the right thing to do. It's that whole thing about how people don't really want freedom. They just want to feel protected. And you get that sense in his offer, which was more of a command. So, but he hasn't given you, to serve him would be entirely in your wheelhouse at this point. Yes, he hasn't commanded further.
Yeah.
He's obviously in pain, and as a doctor, you know that sometimes it's more ethical to just put something in that much pain out of its misery. And
No, but you do make a good point. I mean, so is it my turn? Is that why you're telling me this?
Yes, and
Well, Doctor,
does he also have the faculty now to continue to spend luck, or does he?
yeah, you can spend luck. You just have this service, and just so you know, as part of this spell, at some point you will have the opportunity to shake yourself sort of free of it, or it will lessen in power. I can't quite remember how it works. I think it will be outside of the scope of this encounter,
Oh, okay.
but for right now, that's what you are operating on. So if the intelligence is higher than that of the caster, what's your intelligence?
80?
80?
Mm-hmm.
So actually, in this case, he'll have to win that with you every 10 rounds.
Mm.
Not so with Glover, I think. What's your intelligence?
80.
Oh.
I told you I'm not statted to be a cop. I'm statted to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, in that case, every 10 rounds, you'll have the opportunity. He'll have to reestablish that particular command. Just in your guys' case, if they had a lower intelligence than the Dark Pharaoh, then it's a much longer period of time. But for the next 10 rounds, yeah, you will serve him. But it is your action, or I guess it was calls.
Yeah.
So Whitmire, give me a Constitution roll, and then it's your action.
Success.
Dang it. Possible.
Holding on till the end.
All right. Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Andrews.
Right. So, if I have to serve him and I am a doctor, then I'll just, drop that shotgun and I'll start moving towards him to see if I can help with the wounds that he's taken from.
Yeah.
Certainly not me.
Mm.
Somebody that's not serving him, most
That was
likely.
before you were unenlightened.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when you look over his body, there are a bunch of things that make it a problem. It is like he's not pumping blood out of these wounds. There's, he's already sort of cooling to the touch, or cooler than he should be if he were living. The damage is beyond the tools you have, at least right now. If you got a hold of your Gladstone bag, maybe you could patch some of it up. And also, the flesh is melty on your good hand now, so it's difficult to administer care. You think that to continue in that action in your next round would be fruitless just because something else is powering what you used to know as Monroe. All right, Jack, you're not under the spell, right?
Yeah.
You passed it.
All right, there's a
Use
couple
some luck.
things. So I was thinking, one, we can put Monroe in that well over there, but then I'm worried that someone might just bring him back up. So I'm wondering, how close am I to Whitmire's car?
You're just in front of it. You guys parked him pretty close to the house. They were faced to make a quick escape. It is pretty damaged. It'd take it would take your action to go around and try to get it cranked up.
I'm more worried about what he has in the trunk. Is there any dynamite in
Right.
there?
Yes,
Oh,
I think so.
not even a luck roll?
Yeah,
There was last time, so
there was.
All right, I'll reach in
I will say that there is.
and I'll grab a stick and I'll put it in my mouth like a cigar. Well, not like sticking out,
Okay.
but like sideways. And I
Okay.
will, if I have any movement left, start making my way back towards the corpse of Lance.
Yeah, so dynamite basically takes, how RuneQuest has the time that it takes to fire a weapon. It basically takes 2 rounds. There's the prep and then the toss
not
or
lighting
set
it yet.
so- Right.
Okay.
Gotcha. Just so you know when you go to do it.
All right.
But yeah, so getting it and you have it there and you're going to go up to Monroe's corpse
Mm-hmm.
will
The
be
part.
your action.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so let's move on over to the Dark Pharaoh.
So I'm just curious, does he have the mind transfer spell?
Give me Lance's Cthulhu Mythos.
Can I buy that?
Yes.
So yeah, he'll spend the 43 luck.
To make everything awful.
Yeah, He's going to try and transfer his consciousness into Dr. Call. Because
All right.
Dr. Call's the only one that's not wounded right now.
So this one does take some time. Ordinarily, let me look at the deeper version. So you are a crafty being. You've survived much. And so ahead of time, you have prepared to do a mind transfer, basically ahead of its casting. So all the...
Yeah, his escape vector, should anything else
but I
go
would say the
horribly
way
wrong.
that that's described is it would have to be a target that isn't Dr. Call. Because you need things
Not-
like personal items of the person you're going to transfer into and that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Unless you can think of a clever way to get around that problem.
I'm trying to think. Have Dr. Call and I, like, swapped business cards or anything like that?
Yeah, I would expect so.
Luck roll.
Luck roll?
Yeah, go
mean-
for it.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. but-
Oh my God! What are
Drained
you
yourself.
doing to yourself?
Well, I'm dead, so
I know, but have
this
some
is my
dignity.
last-ditch effort to survive. Hey,
Okay.
that's how I survived Father in the first campaign, was I was down to, like, 4 luck
Yeah.
at the end of that one.
Okay, so you don't have the ability to use the deeper part of it, so you can use it the regular way, which looks like the 5 rounds. You got to succeed at the opposed power roll, and then you guys start losing sanity, basically. And if the exchange fails, then your soul dissipates into eternity, or you transfer into the body of Dr. Call. But
That's
I don't see anything here. Yeah, I guess it's just a one-off. It takes 5 rounds. So that's the hang-up, is to keep him around for that long, right?
okay.
At least with Dr. Call, since he's shown to be particularly immune to your ability to command him.
Yeah. I suppose I could switch to Detective Glover.
Okay. All right. So you can
He would
start
be
the
the-
casting.
Yeah.
1 round. You want to keep a count of that for me.
And just as a word, I'll tell Andrews to hold down Detective Glover for me.
Okay.
And yeah, then I'll start the transfer.
Yeah, so the Dark Pharaoh lying there on the ground, paralyzed, points at Detective Glover and, says something in Egyptian to you, Dr. Andrews. You don't know precisely what he's saying in this case, since it's just a regular command, but with a successful psychology roll, you can make out what he's going for. Give you a chance to confuse what exactly he wants.
Failure.
Yeah, you don't know precisely what he wants. Meanwhile, a panicked
Probably telling you to stop him because he's walking towards him.
Meanwhile, a panicked Dr. Edward Call goes over to the other car and gets it cranked up. He's just like, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. Come along, Andrews, Glover, leave him. Whitmire, Constitution roll.
Success.
Amazing. Somebody get this man medical attention.
Come on, guys. I'm dying.
Hey
here.
man, Dr. Call's the only sane doctor left.
Yeah, and he's running away.
You gotta make sure that car's going. He's not running yet.
Yeah, stuff gets
All
a
right,
little
Dr.
bit
Andrews.
tough.
So you have this uncertain command from the Dark Pharaoh. He's pointing at Glover. You got that much.
And what's Glover doing?
He has a stick of dynamite in his mouth. I think, still.
Okay. Yeah, so I think it's reasonable to infer that he wants me to stop Glover from reaching him with a stick of dynamite. Is that reasonable?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is.
So I'll
Does the
run up.
question come in that how does he know what dynamite is, though?
Well, I mean, possibly, but
It's not
that's
the.
not what he was going for.
Yeah.
I don't know. As I feel that has to become a internal debate now.
What would be cool is to complete the mind transfer just as the dynamite goes off.
It's not lit.
Yeah, right. I know. I was
Okay.
just saying that would be a cool convergence.
It's about to though,
Um,
depending on how Andrews is acting.
Yeah, it looks like you got a shot left in your shotgun. And
He dropped it.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
he dropped it inside.
Yeah, I'll just try to go up and brawl him, like to tackle him or something.
Yeah, so it's
Are you gonna hit him with your withered hand or your melty hand?
what's your size, Glover?
80.
And your build is 1?
Build. Is that in combat? Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have a -1.
And a 40 for size.
Right. You know,
But I do have brawl.
hold that action if you want to come up with something a little more in his talents for how to do that. But yeah, basically you have 2 penalty to try to, brawl him in any way because of your guys' big size difference and your compromised hands. If you still want to go forward with it, though, you may.
I don't know what. Let me look around. What else could I do?
Do you have any other guns? I mean, holding a gun on somebody usually gets them to stop doing things.
I don't. I just have my machete, so I'll pull that.
Okay. Threaten them.
And I'll threaten him with it, with my machete in my offhand.
What do you say to him?
Don't come any closer.
All right, Glover,
Else
how do you
I'll stick you.
respond?
I think the Dark Pharaoh's doing something at me. I don't know what,
Yeah.
but I do know that
Yeah, he
anytime.
pointed at you. He was...
Yeah. I do know anytime the Dark Pharaoh thing speaks that I usually end up in a bad way. So I'm just going to try to go for it. I'm going to try to grab the Dark Pharaoh and head towards that well as fast as I can and juke around Andrews.
All right. Yeah, it will give you the opportunity, Andrews, to slash out with that machete if you want while he's trying to scramble the Dark Pharaoh away from where you are.
Okay. But like I said, I'm using it left-handed, so probably would have a penalty.
Okay. You're just going to dodge that, Jack?
Yeah. Gonna see if I can anyway.
Just checking for fumble, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when he grabs me, do I have a chance to brawl him back or anything like that?
Yeah, if you want to.
I just have my arms.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be... Monroe's size was 0, so you'd be at the maximum penalty. So you would roll it with 3 penalty die, or 3 dice.
Would that stop his ritual?
No, not necessarily.
So 3 dice altogether?
4.
Yeah.
Right. Oh.
Yeah. And I don't have enough luck.
Yeah.
How do I dodge that, or do I brawl back because I'm trying to grab
Yeah, you
him
can dodge again. This time you have a penalty on it, though.
All
Or
right.
you can brawl back if you want to, yeah.
with a penalty too?
Yep.
Do I need to get? I need to succeed on the brawl, right? Because
You need to either have the failure that you had, basically,
okay.
and have a higher skill than Lance has
Oh,
at brawling.
I don't have a higher skill than Lance does, so I guess I'll dodge at penalty.
Yeah. Okay, but still, it's enough to stop him from doing whatever. I guess you were just trying to push him away. Is that the idea?
Yeah, just trying to keep him from getting his hands on me.
Okay. So,
Actually getting a hold of me.
Nothing much changes. Dr. Andrews swipes through the air where Glover was, but that does bring it to another round of chanting for you, or if that's what you're going to do with your action, Dark Pharaoh.
Yeah, round 2 of the body swap.
Okay, Dr. Call has the car cranked up. He comes huffing and puffing past this altercation back into the house. Makes it to about there, which you...
Extreme success.
All right. Hopefully he can get to you in time. That's a pretty impressive run.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Andrews, your action.
Yeah, I mean, I really just don't. I don't see what else I could do here, so I'll just take another slice at him.
You could touch him with your weird hand and slow him down.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that's just a brawl roll at penalty. Are you going to dodge? This is a new round, so it doesn't start at penalty for you, Glover.
Yeah.
It's another failure.
Yeah, you're just not a very physical man, all things.
Yeah,
You know.
especially left-handed.
So, but Glover, he does seem persistent on keeping you away from the Dark Pharaoh. So it's up to you whether you're going to stay in the danger zone there or not, or if you want to do something else.
Did I pick up the top half?
No, the way it all played out, because you stepped back and he tried to get out, is that you had to let him go in order to stop him from, to stop all those attacks from hitting you.
Mm.
The dodge kind of took you out of your effect. You have to commit to it, I suppose, if you really want to do it. Which
All right.
opened
Yeah,
you
let's
up.
go for it. Pick him up.
Okay. All right. So since he's resisting, that's the brawl roll between the two of you. That is at penalty for you, given your current state, Dark Pharaoh, if I didn't already say that last time.
Yep. 3. Yeah, I've been doing 2 penalty dice. Or I do it penalty, number of dice 3.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Just not happening.
Yeah. I don't get any
Let's see.
bonuses, do I, for it?
Yeah, they try to put it all on the
Penalty? Okay.
instead of that way somebody like if there's an unequal power level, it's not like a double penalization to whoever has the unequal because it would be like bonus for you, penalty for them. So they just try to do penalty for them and leave it at that. But I don't want it to be locked up like this. So I'm going to, there's an optional rule like where there's no fell hits basically.
So I take the damage and I pick him up?
Yeah, well, just like he's pushing you away, punching at you, he actually deals a point of damage basically
Alright.
to you. Scratches you across your neck or your cheek in an attempt to keep you from picking him up.
All right. So did I pick him up?
Yeah, but we'll say you both kind of, so you got him like around the armpits there,
All right.
and you can start dragging him. All right, Lance, third round of your spell.
Yep.
Okay, Dr. Call makes it up to you. Let's see if he can do, oh wait, what's his movement speed? 5? So it takes that round for him to get to you, unfortunately,
Yeah.
Whitmire. Luck
As
or push?
I don't have enough luck for it, so push away.
Ooh.
Nice.
Success.
Oh, no zombies.
Okay, Dr. Andrews, Glover's got a hold of the Dark Pharaoh, starting to drag him off to the east there.
How crazy would it be if I instead... Well, no, because I've seen him trying to fight him off, so I can certainly deduce he doesn't want Glover to do what he's doing.
Right.
Okay. And I have a ruined hand. Well, I guess we'll keep up trying to stab him with my machete.
All right. So you can attempt to dodge this one, Glover, and it won't mess up your hold on him. But holding on to him will put it at penalty. And of course, Andrew, you have your penalties for the slash. If that's what you wish to do. But also, Glover, you could attempt to punch him in the face instead, or trip his legs.
I don't really.
Whatever ideas you have.
Yeah, no, I'm more concerned about just getting to the well.
Okay.
So
So just dodging.
yeah.
All right. Let's see how Andrews does. Yeah, it's just not.
Wow. Almost.
Yeah, you duck under a slash. They're real wobbly, which makes it relatively easy for you to avoid, but still, it's a machete swinging at you.
But I think that's within the range of malfunction for this weapon. Because it says a 96
Oh, really?
is a malfunction for the machete.
Get in the house.
I wonder if that's true. Yeah, that sounds like it.
You know, I stick it into the Dark Lord and kill him the rest of the way. Bad luck, you know.
I think that melee weapons only have those sorts of things on an actual fumble. I think the default for the weapon line starts at 96 to 100, because I was looking at the entry for machete and it doesn't have a malfunction one. So you didn't actually fumble. You still have a hold of it. You would have to roll 100 for something like that to occur. But Jack, you can start moving that body now.
All right.
You can move your speed with the body.
All right. So,
Can I fight against that?
Yeah, on your return.
all right. So that'll put me right over to there with him.
Yep.
Or S. Nope. Come on. There we
All
go.
right, Monroe, is this the 4th round of your spell?
Yeah, can I also be trying to fight against him or grab a hold of something to keep him from dragging me as I...
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and you want to like snag on to something. We'll say
Yeah, like if I can grab onto Andrews.
as you're going
That would-
past. Yeah, we'll say
Yeah.
a dex roll to grab a hold of something, and if Andrews doesn't want to be grabbed a hold of for some reason by you, although he's your servant at the moment, then he could have the option to dodge it. But yeah,
Ooh, nope,
no luck to spend either.
nope. But yeah, round 4 of
Okay.
taking over Glover.
So we'll move it to the next round. Dr. Call kneels over Whitmire. He's going to do first aid. He may save this man's life or delay his demise.
Mm.
See how he does.
Nice.
Gotcha. So you got 1 temporary hit point. You can make a constitution roll to regain brief consciousness. So basically your check to die moves up. It's like D&D, very similar to every hour until you have actual proper medical attention.
Mm.
And you
I'll use my 6 luck to buy the success.
Yeah, so basically you come to with Call knelt over you. You know, he's putting some stuff on your chest, you know, trying to put some compression on that wound and ignoring your damaged hand for the time being, but your eyes flicker open and you have a little loss of time, you know, like those short-term memories in the last few moments didn't quite store correctly before it was lights out. But you do know you were trying to flee this place. You didn't see or you don't remember hearing anybody fire on you, but you must have been shot just when you look at yourself. But yeah, you are conscious for this round. What did you want to do or say?
Well, I know I'll state the obvious. We gotta get out of here.
Right. Just
Not doing so good, Call.
Just hang in there, Whitmire. That's what I'm working on. I dare say we may make it yet, God willing. But that's what he can do for that turn. Dr. Andrews.
So the Dark Lord was trying to grab onto me?
Yeah, like he tried to grab your leg, but he just didn't get close enough to you or get enough of a grasp. It kind of tugged at the hem of your pant leg there. But
yeah, so then I want to grab onto him and try to pull him away. Like
Okay.
I'll grab his legs, whatever's being dragged, and I'll try to pull against Glover, since I obviously can't hit him
Well,
with a knife.
okay, yeah, it's easy enough with your action to get a hold of his legs since Monroe can't use those for anything. So he can't
Yeah,
back at you. You just grab a hold of him. So then from this point to move him further, Jack, it would be basically a contest of strength.
All right.
But once again, Dr. Andrews, you are impaired due to your injury
yeah.
to maintain a hold. So you will have a penalty on your strength roll.
Okay.
All right.
Assuming you were going to toss him in the well.
Yeah, he's going in the well on my
Right.
turn, or I'm going to try to.
Okay. Yep. Go for it.
All right.
Do you want me to roll a strength?
Strength
With
with
a
with penalty.
One penalty?
You put 2
Do I
when it
get-
asks you.
Yeah.
Do I get strength to fight it as well? Or
Um,
something to try to grab onto the well so I don't actually go in?
Yeah, you can have another attempt at it, but also I'll give you a penalty. So basically, if one of you or Dr. Andrews succeeds, you won't go over into the well this turn. If Glover succeeds against both of you, you will.
All right. Do I get any penalties or bonuses?
Nope.
All right.
Oh,
Nice.
Wow,
Good one.
nice.
wait, my roll didn't go through.
Yeah, I don't see it.
And it's a strength check,
Yep.
right?
With one or with a penalty die.
So, yep.
So with a terrific tug, you upend him over the edge of that well and let him go.
Yeah. Do I have enough whatever left
No,
over?
that would have been
Okay.
your action to get him over there.
Do I have enough leeway to finish the spell this round?
We're gonna see
Yeah, how deep is the
Is it a
well?
luck check?
for the
Is there
well.
falling damage? Like if he falls on his... Well, I guess he's not breathing, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He falls on his head. I mean, crushes it.
No,
depending
you
on how
guys had
far
checked it earlier, or at least Glover and Whitmire had when they first came out here, and there was water in the well with debris, so that's what he splooshes down
Yeah.
into.
And like, there doesn't seem to be
so-
like a verbal or somatic component to the spell casting. Either,
Right.
So.
He's been chanting this whole time, so
Yeah.
Okay.
But
they
I'm gonna
can't
give him
continue it.
an impaired chance to complete the spell. So ordinarily on the opposed power for this one, since it's technically an NPC, Glover would have to do an extreme power roll, but I will just move it down to passing a regular power roll.
All right. I think he's got it. Here we go. Bam. Success.
Nice.
Oh, got it. So yeah, you hear the Egyptian, the spoken Egyptian, the last round in this rite as it attempts to transfer its mind into yours, and then splash, and it fails. Caster's
Because
soul
of the failure, yeah, his
dissipates into eternity.
Well, I don't know that.
Right.
So,
But
That
so-
also break Andrew's thing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Like the need to serve him doesn't become your primary desire, so to speak. But yeah, he splashes into the water, the corpse of Monroe, possessed by the Dark Pharaoh, with the chunk of amber with its encased gin in its hand, into the well. What do you do, Andrews?
And I don't have that compulsion anymore, Is that what you said?
No, you don't have it anymore.
Oh, okay. All right, so then I know Whitmire's been shot and my bag is back in the house, so I'll run to the house to get my bag because I don't know that Call made it in there to help him.
Yeah, you see him dragging him across the pentagram when you come in, and he looks over his shoulder at the sound of an approaching person and asks for help. Can you grab his feet?
Okay, yeah, I'll snatch up my bag and then I'll grab his feet to the best of my ability with my one arm.
Okay.
Or I guess I could get both of my forearms under his feet and carry him that way.
All right. So you guys start to carry him towards the car. Jack Glover, what are you going to do?
Man, I just had a horrible thought. And that is if Amber breaks to dynamite,
Destroy the stone and
release the gin, but I don't know
Well-
if Glover would think about that. So the last action Glover does will be pulling out his lighter and lighting that fuse and preparing to toss it down the well.
All right. Yeah, people, Dr. Andrews, Dr. Call get Whitmire into the back of the car, and then they load up and they shout for you to come, and you light the fuse, wait whatever time you feel comfortable with, toss it down, and Dr. Call begins to pull away. And moments later, there's a terrific explosion, and you see a blast of water and chunks of stone and earth and leaves blast up from that well. But before we go, let's have a group luck roll, including the departed
Monroe,
Mr. Monroe.
son of a bitch, Justin.
What'd you do?
hold
40?
on, it's the
Oh.
lowest, isn't it?
Failed.
Yeah, it's just the low. All we
Okay.
need is Monroe. So
I got a 0.
Oh,
you have
do?
0 luck.
You have 0 luck?
0 luck.
Oh,
Yeah, I used all of
So
it.
what is it? He'd be rolling to not
I
critical.
think it goes
fail?
down to like you're basically to 1. You just need to get a critical. So you
Okay.
can put a 1 in there and
Oh,
roll your
okay.
luck. Whitmire. Nope. 42. Even though the pivotal event of this scenario has been resolved, the story of trauma, both physical and mental, continues. And perhaps the butcher's bill has not yet been paid in full. As our investigators speed away from the farmhouse, Dr. Call understands that James Whitmire may yet slip away. The choice then is this. Do they carry on to the hospital in Arkham or find some place to perform the life-saving procedure themselves? All right, so the scene is this. You guys have pulled out onto Boone Road. You're heading towards Ross's Corner. You can see the church up on your left and the rest of the town spread out before you. So Dr. Call is driving the car. Whitmire, you're in and out of consciousness as you're still, slowly bleeding to death, basically. Dr. Andrews is unconscious, and Glover's in the seat next to him. You can see his right hand has kind of, like, the skin got all melty, and, it had to go with the law of gravity, so it kind of melted, the fingers together, and some of the bone, like on his thumb and his index finger, you can see where the skin had just sort of melted away. But that is the situation you're in, and Dr. Call is saying, I suppose to you, Glover, since you're really the only one fully there, that he's uncertain what to do. I dare say young Whitmire won't make it if we try to get to Arkham, but I don't know if I have the tools to patch him up appropriately.
Have we heard anything about like maybe a local veterinarian?
You could give me your, we'll say, a hard intelligence roll.
All right. Nope.
Yeah,
So you don't think? Oh, sorry. Go for it.
yeah. If you had heard something, it just was a detail that didn't stick into your head. You assume with all these farm animals, there has to be one around, but you didn't hear the exact location.
Yeah, I don't think we probably got time either way. What do you think your chances are of helping them through it? Just pull over and do it, Dr. Call.
Harder than if I was in a hospital, that's for sure.
Is he even going to make it to a hospital? Yeah, looks like he's still kind of bleeding like a stuck pig.
I'm quite surprised he's alive at all, to be honest. Got the constitution of a horse,
Yeah, he's wily like that.
but
Probably rearranged his organs.
I can try it. Maybe I can rouse Dr. Andrews if we pull over somewhere, and he could assist as best he can. I'm not sure if he will be helped, but...
Well, if you don't think he's going to survive the trip to the hospital, we got to do something.
All right. What do you think? The church there? Where should we go?
The church is as good a place as any.
All right, so he cruises down the road and heads over to the church, pulls off on the gravel path that leads up to the church, and there the double doors, stand open, and you guys hustle out of the car. He asks for some help with Whitmire,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's up to you if you want to go back and get Andrews and bring him in as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do that. Get them all in there.
Well, when you get Andrews in there, well, firstly, when you guys get in there, you see Sheriff Hooper sort of sitting just below the pulpit, like on one of the steps that goes up to sort of a raised area, and he's just drinking from a little hip flask, and it's almost like he doesn't even notice you guys enter the scene, and you can see a teenage girl, her corpse lies at his feet, and you see the telltale mark of the heart extraction by the djinn, likely around the time you guys heard gunshots out here. But anyhow, Dr. Call tries to rouse Dr. Andrews. One sec.
Does Hooper have that look in his eyes that I've been seeing a lot lately?
Yes. Yeah,
all right.
he does.
So I'll kind of lean over to Hooper and Call, and I'll be like, you just focus on getting her taken care of Whitmire. I'll keep an eye on Hooper just in case she gets a little weird.
All right. So Call reaches into his bag and pulls out some smelling salts and puts them underneath your nose here, Dr. Andrews. And he successfully rouses you from unconsciousness. So when you come to, your hand is in quite a bit of pain. It's singing not so sweetly to you. But
my hand. It's in pain.
All right. So once you're all there, he says, hey, Dr. Andrews, I didn't think Whitmire would make it all the way to the hospital. I think we're going to have to do this procedure here. Now, it doesn't really look like you're in much of a state to help, but you might see something that I miss.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to have to get in there and stop this bleeding however we can. So how this will work is you can both make your medicine roll. In Dr. Call's case, he has to pass a hard medicine roll. And in your case, you have to pass an extreme medicine roll. Now, only one person has to succeed.
Okay.
I think Dr. Call can use his surgery if it's higher.
Is there any reason not to push on failure?
I don't think there would be.
Well, if
Well,
you guys fail, he's not dead. He still has the hour to go before he has to make another Constitution check. So likely what would happen then is Dr. Call would just be like, I can't do this here. We're going to have to try to make for the hospital, right?
All right.
So he's going to use his surgery in this case since it's applicable, which he has pretty high, and he's going to go for his hard. Ooh. And he gets a failure. So yeah, it calls. Yeah. He says, I don't know if we can do this here. He's willing to push it, but he says maybe we should just hope for the best, get him back in the car, get him to Arkham.
Yeah, I don't think I can be of any help. My hand is completely useless. And
did we see the sheriff's truck?
Yeah.
Do they have sirens on these ones?
Do you have any luck roll? I don't know. Did they have the sirens back then?
My luck says they do.
Oh yeah. It's like it's not a light, but it's just a...
Yeah, it's like a noisemaker.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. They do have them on, or his truck does have one, yes.
All right. I'll go over to Sheriff Hooper and I'll ask for his keys, unless he thinks he can drive himself, but I don't think he... Yeah, so... Sheriff Hooper, we need to get someone to a hospital real quick. I plan to make use of your vehicle.
Yeah, he looks at you, his eyes coming into focus, sort of noticing you for the first time with a start. And he takes another long swig from his hip flask, and he hands you the keys, or he says, yeah, go ahead. You got to go wind it up, I guess, get it going. But he says, You're going to have to explain to me just exactly what that was one of these days. Because I didn't see anything, but I saw this girl's heart torn from her chest. And so did half the town, for God's sake. Yeah, it's kind of like
You shouldn't have
unhinged laugh at the end of that.
you shouldn't have to worry about it. I don't know what happened, but they took care of it. And I'll motion for Dr. Call and Andrews to load Whitmire up into the sheriff's truck.
Okay. Did you want to drive, Clover, or you want Call to drive?
Call is the better wheelman.
The better wheelman?
I'll sit in the back with Whitmire.
All right, Whitmire, let's get your constitution roll.
Push it. I had no reason not to, right?
That's true.
Nope. Those can't hang on. The minute they start the car up, I keel over.
Yeah, what was the downside to the push?
Oh, I die.
That was with just the regular failure.
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
Just trying to think.
Those,
The dark man takes
well,
over.
Father claims my soul, man.
Yeah, that's right. Like Justin was saying, and what John just said, like the shadow that he keeps seeing gets him, right?
Right. Well, yeah, let's do it this way. So, to those, to the omniscient, omnipresent observer that we are, we know that Whitmire dies. But to the people in the car, his vitals seem to tick along, weak, but still there, all the way to Arkham, where he's admitted to St. Mary's Teaching Hospital, and the good doctors there seem to stabilize Whitmire, but when Whitmire sits up in his bed conscious for the first time and he looks into the reflection, all we see is a man-shaped hole in the world with a halo around his head like the accretion disk around a black hole, and we'll have to leave the payoff to that for another time. So, what we can do then from this point is Dr. Andrews and Detective Glover, having delivered Whitmire to the hospital, can go on their separate ways and attend to the things that they need to attend to. And we'll do kind of a brief description from the two of you of what that sort of near future plan is for those two characters. Let's start with you, Brandon.
All right.
Or Chris. Sorry, Chris.
No, I'd say go with Brandon because
Okay.
if his characters think about retirement, it's going to change what my character does. So
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I would need the services of this hospital as well. And then it just depends on what's going to shake out with my hand.
Yeah, we'll have to do some rolls here. Let's take a look. So this hospital has the same rating as Dr. Call, just better equipment. So the first medicine roll for your wound, this is the initial treatment, is an extreme success. So you recover 1d3 hit points. You want to roll that out.
Okay.
And then you can make, about a week later, you can make a constitution roll. You get a bonus die if you stay at the hospital. And I imagine the treatment for this is, since your flesh between your fingers kind of fused together, they'll have to surgically snip those all apart.
Yeah.
And we'll see if there's some sort of grafts or something they can do to keep the hand intact. That depends on how your constitution rolls, so you can make that first one for the end of the week with a bonus die if you stay in the hospital. Okay, so no recovery takes place that week. You can check again for the next week. Same conditions, as long as you're at the hospital.
Yeah, I'll stay there. There's a success.
All right, so you get 1d3 hit points. And what does that bring your total hit points to?
So that brings me to 6 of 8.
Okay, so that crosses the threshold to where you're out of having a wound. You still, have healing to do. But given that you didn't fumble or fail a push roll or anything through that, you make a pretty good recovery. So your hand is mostly intact, just not functional until the rest of the healing takes place. So you can leave the hospital with, bandages and whatnot. They had to basically, I suppose, take skin from other places and try to reconstruct it around your thumb and index finger.
Okay.
Okay, good. Skin grafts were pretty old. All right. Yeah, so it seems they're just waiting to figure out if there's nerve damage. Mechanically, we know there won't be because you didn't fail or fumble anything. So you just have sort of a disability with that hand until you hit full hit points, which should be by the end of the next week. So that's what you're looking at, about 3 to 4 weeks of recovery.
Okay.
So what is Dr. Andrews' plan given that the scenario has come to an end?
All right. So he's definitely got a lot of work to do on his sanity.
Right.
So he's definitely going to have to take a long break from this sort of thing and
Right.
get his mind straightened out.
Well, some of the things that occur prior to this incident and probably while you're still in the hospital is there's a whole investigation that ticks up around Ross's Corner where first the state troopers are called in to make sense of all these bodies they have around there. And then eventually 2 agents from the Bureau of Investigation. And you talk to the state troopers, you give whatever information you want to give. How would you do that? What would you even say?
Like the state troopers come by and they start asking me questions about what happened out there.
Right. They understand you own some property out there. That's where you first get the news that the farmhouse had partially burned down after you guys had left. And
Yeah.
there was a body found amongst the rubble. And so right now you're just like a person of interest. They're trying to get your whereabouts over the last few weeks, that sort of thing, right?
Fortunately, that crazy hobo in the basement started snatching hearts.
Yeah. So when they ask me questions, that's probably the angle I'd take. Is like, yeah, we inherited the place, but there was a violent squatter on the premises. And so, I didn't feel safe there.
Right. And at the same time, you get kind of involved with that too, Glover, because, your name just doesn't stay out of it. They talk to Sheriff Hooper and they learn that you were down there investigating something. And that's just one of the things you become involved with. The other thing, of course, was the murder of Bertrand Merriweather, which, while the internal investigation of the Boston Police Department shows no wrongdoing on your part, a civil suit is opened by the widow of Merriweather against the Boston Police Department for a wrongful killing. And that has yet to be determined. That's still awaiting a court date. And of course, you are subpoenaed to that and whatnot. You do get a gentle pressure put on you to, either take up, his name's escaping my mind at the moment.
You're talking about Terry?
Yeah, Logan Terry's offer to hit you up with connections in another town, and you make like a lateral move just in a different spot. You might mention the idea of shuffling around to a precinct, but he points out that would mean a demotion. They don't have precinct detectives at the level you were at, but that's also an option. Of course, you could retire, but you wouldn't get your full pension in that case.
That's right.
So yeah, you have a lot of options there, but you have that civil suit brought against, the police department of which you're a primary person involved with. And then also you have this investigation at Ross's Corner where all these bodies, and that's ongoing. And currently we're at the state troopers have been in contact with you. Now you're a little bit more canny when it comes to law enforcement stuff. So if you and Andrews want to work out ahead of time what you guys both might say about this situation, that would be fine.
Yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't do something, because we'd be expecting some sort of
Right.
follow-ups.
And I would just follow Glover's lead there, since that's what he does for a living, so he would know what kind of questions we're going to come up against.
Okay. And also, Dr. Andrews, you have a good friend at the Order who is a lawyer, a criminal defense lawyer. And you can always get him on retainer if needed.
Yeah.
Which actually kind of belays, as soon as you have him on retainer, if that's something you want to do, it kind of stops the questioning for a minute outside of the context of these very sort of contained, with your lawyer friend there to keep everything kosher, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely what I would do.
Okay.
Yeah, if he's going to lawyer up, I'd probably say that, that's the best bet. Just follow what your lawyer says. He knows the law better than any cop.
Okay. Yeah, so that goes on for a while. And, speaking of the Hermetic Order of the Silver Twilight, when they learn of Monroe's death, they hold a vigil there where they summon, all active members, which I guess at this stage is just you, Dr. Andrews, at least when they hold it. Whitmire is still alive, but he's, as far as you know, convalescing in St. Mary's Teaching Hospital in Arkham. But yeah, they hold like a vigil for him where the noble philosopher John Scott gives, a short commemoration. And as I had described when you guys did your initiation, they put all these lights that look like stars with one big bright light in the middle that's, supposed to be like the sun that you guys had seen. But during his commemoration, John Scott points out that some of you may have noticed that we have the constellations as seen in the northern hemisphere up in this light array. And he points to what's supposed to be the constellation Orion at the belt there, and he says, those two stars on the ends, Alnatak and Mintaka, we will keep lit for as long as I am the noble philosopher to commemorate both Rupert Merriweather for one and Lance Monroe for the other. And he says something about how, Orion represents the hunter or the seeker, in this case of information, and also a philosophical concept they call the philosophy child, which is also kind of like a philosophy stone, which is a symbol of divine illumination. And they will light these halls for all time if I would have my way. And then, he closes the ceremony and you guys can talk amongst each other, those who knew him. But that's one of the things that happens during that commemoration. But we have to go back in time a little bit to Monroe's moment of death. And as an occultist, Monroe was very familiar with near-death experiences, like the light at the end of the tunnel sort of thing. You've heard many, many stories like that, Monroe, and you're not really, it's like a dream to be in that. You're not really thinking at the highest level. You're not thinking logically. You're just sort of having an experience of traveling towards this light at the end of this tunnel, and you get sort of a fuzzy impression of that something good is there. Like maybe you don't know what it is, but it kind of reminds you of, sitting on your grandpa's lap when he was teaching you to read when you were a boy, back before all his troubles, the things that he got involved with, the things that sort of drove him mad, the things that you kind of know all too well. And this is a very comforting drawing together that you're feeling. But as you're having this experience, which who knows what causes it, some dream chemical perhaps at the moment of death, but you're looking out of this path that you're on towards this light at the end, and you see a Baroque staircase, highly ornate. Now, I said You're not thinking at your highest level, so you don't recognize it immediately, but you can give me a Cthulhu Mythos roll. All right, so you don't know what it is. It barely registers. That is until you see a figure at the top of the steps sort of beckoning to you, and you recognize him. He's, he wears like a shirt or a wife beater. He has slacks, and he has a trilby cap on his head with a feather in the band, and that's the figure beckoning to you. And you, like, a name comes into your mind, Robert Ramsden. Yeah, that was his name. It was the author that had killed himself to make it to the dream world. Mm-hmm. So the final roll that Monroe gets before even his dream version, like all conscious forms of Monroe, go into nothing, is a dreaming roll.
Critical failure.
Oh.
A fumble. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're drawn off by this figure who, once he sees you come off the light, this tunnel drawing you towards a warm light, you're drawn off by these ornate steps, and Robert Ramsden goes down them and disappears out of sight. And you remember then, this is the 70 steps of light slumber that leads to the chamber where beyond there are even more steps that go into the dream world. And in a haze, you walk through this hall with the eternal pillar of fire. Now, the two Egyptian-like figures aren't there at the moment, but you do see the steps that lead to the dream world beyond, and you head down those. But you get a growing sense of dread, yet you are inexplicably drawn forward until you find yourself in, again, a familiar place with columns on either side and a darkness ahead. And as though you're on rails, you're drawn into this darkness, and you see not Robert Ramsden there, but another figure, hunched, old, but his arms and legs are elongated and they're powerful looking. And so there's a figure there that you recognize, Mr. Mueller, you think, but his body is grotesque and strong. And I'll pass it over to Mr. Mueller.
Ah, Herr Monroe, please, follow me. I've such sights to show you.
And beyond, you see the fuzzy, bat-like, toad-like shape of Sithagua, who is hungry.
Oh, no.
And that will be the end of Season 3. So we'll close the recording there. Thanks for playing. We still got a bunch of, what do you call it? Investigator development phase to go through. And that's it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
man.
Thanks, Travis.
Okay. Now, Justin, since you don't... And another character death. This has been a Death Watch production. Thank you for listening.